Researchers state that BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard are the largest shareholders with 88% of the S&P firms. And morons and fucking imbeciles call this an equity market, a stock market, America, oh, the land of opportunity. Who the fuck are you kidding? 3 companies, and as he said, Kennedy, it's really one big company, own 88%. The crime syndicates running America. And as them buying up houses, Redfin said in 2023 that investors bought up 26% of affordable homes. That began, by the way, back in the panic of '08 when there was the subprime mortgage crisis. The bankster bandits who got $29 trillion bailout, according to Bard College, Levy Institute of Bard College. Hey, you don't have a job? You're deep in debt? Don't worry about it. Sign over here. You got a subprime mortgage. So all these foreclosures that happened, the banksters, Blackstone, one after another started buying them up. And that's what the country's become. As I said, when I was a young man, there were grocery stores, hardware stores, stationery stores, drug stores. Now they're all...
What up? What's going on, everybody? This is Super Mike 2164. I do want to come to you guys. I know it's early in the morning, and I'm out here in the car just doing a little content there. Make sure you guys press the little thumbs up button, share it, comment. I want to try to get anybody who hears what I say closer to the reality of whatever it is that's going on. Because when we actually deal more with the reality instead of the propaganda and the imaginary messages that we also receive, when we can deal with actual functional realities, the closer we can get to that. And I don't believe that any of us can get 100% there, because we all have stuff that we come with and we believe wholeheartedly. There's nothing no couple conversations going to do to fix that. But the closer we can get to what's actually true, then the faster we'll get to solving the problems, right? There's little stuff in our lives that we could just fix within 5 or 6 minutes. Some stuff we can go ahead and fill out a couple forms and get done that we've been putting off for years. There's people we should have been called and made up for and said sorry for. There's, levels up that you could have did that you're putting off installing because you have little emotional blocks. We got all this stuff. We got mental work. We all got it. This is part of life, right? So when we're dealing with social politics and all these different things, right now, the biggest distractions that in current modern day Western world, if you live in the Western world, is going to be the political game. It's a game. Your life is your life, right? If you want something, go get it. Try. It don't matter if Kamala win and Trump win. This is a big ocean, and it's going to flow the way it's going to flow. Your job is to predict what is more likely to happen, and then also prepare yourself what could happen, and then you capitalize on both realities. Start thinking of it like that, because the thing is, they make you think that you're influencing this stuff, but you're not. They already have, they are kind of going at it, so they could influence it. But for you on your level right now, the best thing to do is just to ride this thing through and to make sure that you can handle any situation that's going on. Because really in America, capitalism is the government. Capitalism is the ruling form. That's the ruling power. And it's always going to be the ruling power, no matter who manages. See, right there, when you're talking about presidents and Congress people at the federal level, you're talking about managers. they can be replaced because their position is interchangeable. You know, anybody can be the manager, but you're not going to just change owners. You're just not like that. And so they make you think that the people, and then they kind of make you think that you're included in the people, you know, these documents and stuff. You're the property. Most of us are in their system. You're the property. Now, you're not actually their property unless you obey them as property, unless you allow them to have your mind. But, you know, that's kind of how that is. So let's get, you know, I just want to start off with a dose of kind of close to reality, and then we'll get into what the details. Now, in the black world, you have this trend that's going, this wave. This is a wave. Remember, this is like a big ocean. Okay, you got a little sway. You can kind of surf on this thing. But there's a trend where the black American is waking up. They want to understand who they are. They want to make decisions on our own. We want to make decisions on our own. And we want to guide our people towards our best interests. We're sick of the integration train. There's many of us. We want to be able to determine our destiny. We don't want to attach ourselves to the American thing as far as the white leaders, basically, you know, because the politics is owned and controlled by the banksters. And those people steal from us. They steal our labor, our ideas, and they give us nothing in return. Currently, there's a trend to try to replace the black American as the bottom rail of society, you know, with some of the bottom rails of other societies, the Venezuelan, the Latin American thing. So we're feeling that trend right now. One of the very important aspects that the establishment has to do to maintain their structure, this is their infrastructure of white supremacy and of capitalism. They got to keep you believing in them. You got to believe in them. So they need you to believe in their process. So this is why so much effort, so much money is spent on elections. Now, the reason why we know this is this. They're going to put who they want to put in there. Okay. So let's go back in history and let's look at what happened, basically. You had the Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton thing. They prepared Barack Obama to get in there. But between them, it could have been Hillary or Barack. But Barack captured the people, so they let him in. Because Hillary and Barack are both amenable to the white power structure. So they're going to do what they're supposed to do. They probably would have preferred Hillary, but, you know, Barack is good too. All right, so like I said, the thing is, they probably would have preferred Hillary, but Barack was fine. So they'll let that go. When Barack was done, they wanted, so Hillary wanted to run again, and Bernie Sanders. Now, Bernie Sanders was socialist. He was too radical. He was too out of control. He was a Jewish guy. They didn't want that kind of smoke. No, they didn't want him in there because the financial powers were like, no, he's going to redistribute the wealth, which is what needs to happen. Redistribution of wealth is what is happening, but it's happening from the blacks, from the lower parts of society, and from the taxpayers. It's happening up to the capitalists. So we need that wealth redistributed back, okay, and spread among the people so that the people can start to do what they need to do. The thing is, so that's what Bernie claims he wants to do. Now, even if he didn't want to do reparations correctly like we wanted, the capitalists in his own race, They didn't want what he was trying to plan. They didn't even want that. So they rigged that election and made sure that Bernie, lost. And then Hillary won. They cheated right in front of everybody's face. And they just got away with it, and people seen them cheat. And they knew that you seen them cheat. And they just kept it moving because they said, well, we're a Democratic Party, DNC. We are a corporation. We can do what we want to do. And that was it. And they just stopped talking about it, and everybody just moved on to the next thing. So Trump wins, right? Now, Trump, they thought they could control Trump. They really couldn't. When it came time to re-elect him, I still don't believe that many people, 80,000 people, 80 million people voted for Joe Biden. That's more people voted for Barack Obama, and Joe Biden was an idiot. He is an idiot, I should say. But whatever, they took that election from Donald Trump. Still, which I didn't vote for it anyway. I didn't care, but I cared, but I'm just observing. From my observation, still, that just didn't seem right. It doesn't seem right with the voting machines and all that stuff. So now, that tells me they're going to just put who they want in. But indeed, even with Kamala lost the election. See, Joe Biden picked Kamala. She lost early in her own presidential bid. She's an idiot. But he picked her for vice president. I don't know why, but maybe to get the black women or the younger vote or younger crowd. She's like 59, 60. So he picks her, and she's just cackling and laughing all over the place. And, that's what he picks. So he's too old. He's about to fall out and die. Okay. They realize they want other people to run. They don't want Kamala. But now they're in a pickle. So it's too hard. They feel like, okay, now Kamala's just going to obey. She's obedient. She's like a little puppy. She does what they say. And that's how she's got her success in her entire life. She gets in the right position and she just lets everybody else work for her. Because she really, if you listen to her talk, she's not that damn smart.
I know who I am. Mm-hmm. I was raised to have pride. I mean, I could go on and on about who I am, right? But and who I was born as, not just who I became. It wasn't like some process of enlightenment. This has not been a process of discovery for me. In fact, I think the frustration is that other people want me to take them through their process of discovery. Exactly. About trying to understand it. Right. And it's a challenge. I mean, but this is look, all of us who have become the first, part of the challenge is that people have their boxes about who people are. It's in their mind. They have this set of boxes, and they're trying to figure out which one do you fit into, right? But the number of boxes they have is limited to whatever they've seen before, usually, right? And we're asking them to see something that they've not seen before and then figure out where to put that. I might give you an example because I have thought about this. If I use this phrase, just close your eyes for a moment and then think about what you see. The boy next door. Mm-hmm. For most of America, what does that look like?
If you listen to her talk, she's not that damn smart at all. And so there you go. They picked Kamala. Nobody voted for this woman. Didn't want her in the beginning. There was no runoff race. There was no, the Democrats just rigged everything right in front of everybody's faces. And so, when third party candidates try to run, the Democratic Party just sues them until they bankrupt them. Kennedy has dropped out because of lawsuits. He spent $10 million on lawsuits.
Because of our nation's role as the template for democracy, a role model for democratic processes and the leader of the free world. Instead of showing us her substance and character, the DNC and its media organs engineered a surge of popularity for Vice President Harris based upon, well, nothing. No policies, no interviews, no debates, only smoke and mirrors and balloons in a highly produced Chicago circus. How did the Democratic Party choose a candidate that has never done an interview or debate during the entire election cycle? We know the answers. They did it by weaponizing the government agencies. They did it by abandoning democracy. They did it by suing the opposition and by disenfranchising American voters. What most alarms me isn't how the Democratic Party conducts its internal affairs or runs its candidates. What alarms me is the resort to censorship and media control and the weaponization of the federal agencies. The DN.
So he ends up, backing Trump. So Kennedy backs Trump, which put a huge boost behind Trump. And then they're going after Cornel West and his campaigns. They're just suing them until they lawsuits, legal fees, which drives the poor third party out of business. So that's what they're doing. Okay, because this is all about a financial capitalism runs the country. If you don't have the capital, you're not going to win. Okay, so the thing is this. Now, since black people are trying to disconnect ourselves from this, we want reparations. We're not going to get off of that. We don't expect anything from these people, but we have to keep on putting the demand out there so that the people can wake up and realize, you're not getting nothing from these people. Let's do this thing on our own. This is what we have to do. And it takes time for the amount of people to understand that. So the message is out there: reparations and do for self. We can do this as we demand. We're going to increase our power, and the demand will increase for reparations and for repair. So right now you got the black media, a true more representative black media out there. Some of the voices of the past have, got on the internet and start speaking for people and start becoming more independent. The Democrats had their shills, had their puppets, their bootlicks to try to come against and delegitimize people like Tariq Nasheed, Vicky Diller, people like Jason Black, Professor Black Truth, even Philip Scott, other people, okay? And just some of these, even just people on the internet like me, or, very small folks. It's inspired the citizens to just get out here and start to report. So now the people are kind of waking up. So so now our message is delegitimizing the established people. So the mainstream now is becoming marginalized. So Roland could not handle it. These people like Van Jones and Michael Eric Dyson, these people cannot delegitimize the citizen journalist or citizen media guy. So, what's happening then? So since that is true, now they had to get somebody else to try to delegitimize, because now they're trying to they have to delegitimize and marginalize these establishment or the loyal media mainstream people like Tariq Nasheed, who's actually building very productive. So now Roland and these guys. So basically, to me, Tariq Nasheed offered to host a conversation with Trump or Harris, just like Ice Cube did, and Ice Cube put out something. It's the same truth. Ice Cube is adding his voice to the right side. He says, you know, you can't tell people don't vote and not give them anything. Your vote is transactional. It's for something, okay? So that's why we vote. We don't vote just to be voting just for some sort of, you know, nostalgic purposes or some Negro spiritual shit. That's not how that works. So anyway, Ice Cube is out there. He's speaking at peace, you know, which is good. You know, we got what ends up happening here is Luke Skywalker is coming against Tariq Nasheed now. Because when Tariq offered to host Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, Tariq is becoming pretty influential. Because he's actually being productive, which he has the hidden museum. Now, Tariq didn't ask to come to their location to host the debate or to speak with them. Tariq didn't ask to go to them, to Washington or to wherever these guys' office is, and go speak with them and negotiate with them. Tariq offered to have them come to him, to us. Now, see, that's a power move, because that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Minister Farrakhan, taught us to do. You don't go to the white man to sit in his house. You got a house. You got to have a house of your own. We have infrastructure that we've built through the grassroots, a representative of our voice. Okay, so you want to speak to us, you come to us then. And then you speak to us and question us, and we tell you what we want, and you make your decision on how you want to move. But even that even being able to do that, even if neither one of them came to speak to Tariq Nasheed, what that did is legitimize him as an authentic voice for the actual Black American descendants of enslaved people here. So, you know, these developments are becoming more and more establishment. And what's happening is that as we rise up in legitimacy and independence, then those forces against us who were the legitimate mainstream, they're starting to become marginalized, and now they're starting to get more desperate. So you got people like Luke Skywalker, they call him Uncle Luke nowadays, but he's the most degenerate 2 Live Crew, Poison Clan. This shit that they been pumping into our communities for generations. Even when I was young, and 2 Live Crew and Luke was out there talking that pop that P and throw that D, all that type of degenerate music, I was like, they actually playing this on the radio. What is this? They're making music like this? And it trained our people to start looking at our women as dogs, which destroys your generations. It destroys the respect that you have for yourselves. Because as your women go, you cannot, that's going to be the trainer of your future. That's the moral foundation of your future. So you start lowering the moral foundation of the female, then the whole society is going to have generations before it can pull itself out of the dirt. And you see the level of morality that our people are at, and nowadays is so bad. It's very bad. It's embarrassing all over the world. And so this is what we got going on. And Luke is one of the primary, he was one of the first mainstream, because what he did is we've always had that kind of stuff, that kind of sexual deviant, degenerate behavior, okay, which is bad enough. but at least those folks try to keep it under wraps. It was in red light districts. It was hidden away. Luke and them, they put that out there on the radio. They made that thing mainstream. And this right here is what we have today. That's what we got today. And now that people look at this man as respectable, he's been a sellout. He criticized Kamala Harris several years back, and he made some sort of insightful criticism. And her people jumped on him, Simone Sanders and all those type of people, when she was running for president. And what ends up happening is he now is endorsing her because she gave him an interview and she can control him and all that kind of thing. Same thing with Charlemagne the God. See, so, you know, you're going to have this battle of so-called legitimate people versus the new real legitimate black people who are representing the best interests of the masses of black people. And the people who are representing the best interests of the masses of black people are going to start having more money, because really the money that these people generate, JP Morgan and all of those folks, it comes from us. These are our ideas. These are our labors. Okay, a lot of it's ours. So anyway, you know, and this is the reason why we say just let Rome burn. We want to start sending that message out. We don't need to try to prop this shit up. We don't have to vote for the winner. We vote for what we want. Even if it doesn't win in this election cycle. It's like, I'm going to vote for Cornel West. Doesn't matter. I'm going to write him in, Cornel West. Oh, you're wasting your vote. See, that dumb mentality. It doesn't matter. You got to put what you want out there. Cornel West is for reparations. You know, he's taking money from the banksters, redistributing the wealth. You got to have that. Now, all this other stuff that he talks about and all this other stuff, that doesn't matter. Redistribution of the wealth, reparations. That's all that matters. Now, is he going to actually win in the election cycle? No, but that doesn't matter. Voting for him legitimizes him. Okay? And what that does is it's registered and it's documented. Now, that becomes historic. So there is a trend there. Okay? Because right now, you're not going to win the election cycle, but if you vote for the person who you think is going to win anyway, what did you do? They didn't promise to help you. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to redistribute the wealth. And then you didn't even say that you wanted that. So now you didn't even say for the historical books that you even wanted reparations. You didn't even say that you wanted the redistribution of the wealth from the super rich to the regular people. So now you really just wasted your vote. So anyway, I don't want to make this too long, but yeah, I mean, this let Rome burn. It's going to burn. And what's burning, keep in mind, guys, when they fall, the land's still going to be here. You know, it may be a different situation, but as they fall, we're going to be organizing to be able to take care of and to provide for ourselves simultaneously. So we're going to get more organized because we're not going to be able to depend on them, which is good. Don't go searching for some ancient ancestors to follow those ancient ancestors, because the ancient ancestors don't know as much as you know now. We know who was the enemy. We know the tricks, okay, that the ancients did not know. So don't go trying to follow them like that, you know, because then you're going to repeat their stupid mistakes. We're going to learn, you know, because we are an amalgamation of all that stuff. So we're a level up of them, but we can learn what they were doing, basically, and we can take the good from the bad. So, you know, learning about these histories helps us avoid a lot of the pitfalls, and it also helps us it helps motivate us to understand that we are legitimized in of ourselves. We don't need a white government to legitimize us, okay? We don't need them to legitimize us. So that's all I want to say. Peace out.
Yo, what's up? This your homie Ice Cube. Here to talk to my black folks. You know, I just want to be straight up because there's a lot of messages going out about this election. First and foremost, anybody telling you that you gotta vote, that it's your duty, that you have to exercise the right, and that people died for you to vote. For one, people did die, but nobody walked out their house to go die for you to vote. They were killed by probably some racists that don't want to see us get anything. But I'm saying that to say this. Be skeptical of anybody telling you to vote and not telling you to ask for anything, or to tell you to just vote and not to get anything for your vote. That's not how it works. That's not the process. You don't vote just to vote. You vote because you're getting something, or your community is getting something. So everybody that's telling you that, man, look at them and say, what are you getting? Because people that just want you to vote and not ask for nothing, people that's in power that want you to vote but don't want you to get anything, or not asking for you to get anything economically, they suspect. Straight up. Because a lot of people been in place for a long time and we ain't got shit. That shit gonna end. That shit gonna end. We gonna get what we supposed to get. Period. And anybody asking you not to ask, I wouldn't listen to them. Because that's the process. Every community asks for what they want. And we're going to do the same goddamn thing.